AEW Dynamite. Man, oh man. Something's gotta happen, man. This show is not as fun, as good, watchable as it once was. Probably ever since God, what was that? What was that? I'm trying to think. I think it was ever since Double or Nothing this year. This the product has just been not great, consistent week to week as far as logic and stories and inconsistency. There's something needs to happen because there's been a lot of stuff that starts and doesn't go anywhere, and then there's a lot of stuff that just happens just to happen, like the Ricky Starks and Big Bill winning the titles of like a couple weeks ago. That just happened just to happen. Um, but like there's a lot of start and go type stuff, and then you got the world champion involved with like 8 different storylines. Got Heyman Page who's being booked like a fucking idiot and a pussy. Yeah, I don't. And MJF, man, I can appreciate what they're trying to do with MJF right now, but all this stuff he's doing is just making him look stupid to me. It really is, but we'll talk about that when we get there. But yeah, man, this show was not. It was definitely not a great episode. Definitely wasn't a good episode either. That main event was really good, and the storytelling was there, and the finish really shocked me. But we'll talk about that also when we get there. So the show kicks off with MJF and Renee backstage. She asks about his 3 partners for tonight, and we see Adam Cole on the screen. Says he's happy that Max is the longest reigning world champion now. He tells Max that he should consider Samoa Joe's offer. Now here's the thing. Joe said he would help him and be his friend, right? If Max gave him a world championship match. Why does Joe want anybody could want a championship match, right? But why does he deserve another championship? He lost. Yeah, MJF cheated by like choking his neck or whatever, but like he still lost. It'd be different if Joe was the champion and then MJF fucked him out of the championship and won the title from him, but he was the challenger. Challengers who lose shouldn't get rematches either. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, sure, the feud would be good. I actually even quite liked the feud they had in the first place. Granted, it was like a 3 week, 4 week feud, and then there was no follow up on it until like a few weeks later when Joe had a video package saying that he's still coming for his championship. So I don't know. Yeah, it's a lot of messy, just messy, man. Roddy and the Kingdom come in, and Roddy says that MJF is obviously the devil, and Adam turns off his phone or whatever, the video, whatever he was on Skype, Discord, or whatever, and turns that off. Max walks away, and that was that. It's very odd. This Roddy stuff is also like stupid as well, I think. Is it funny at times? Sure, but where is this going? Where is all this MJF stuff going? He's doing stuff. He Adam's his partner. Roddy and the Kingdom are trying to be friends with Max. Max is feuding with Samoa Joe. He's feuding with Wardlow. The Acclaim stuff. Jay White. Jay White is the main guy that is challenging him for his world championship full gear. And there's like 7 other people involved with Max. I don't understand it. It's dumb. It's messy. It's hard to even keep up with. The interactions are just weird. Like I don't get it. Unless they're setting up this giant like multi-man world championship match where Max is gonna defend the title against Jay White, Samoa Joe, Wardlow, Adam Cole, Roddy. I don't know. I don't know where this is going, and sure, just let it play out, see what happens. But like, it's just so messy to me. So that's just my. Next, we have the first match of the night: Claudio Castagnoli challenging Orange Cassidy for his AEW International World Championship. Claudio's wearing this weird Be Violent shirt with a fucking sadistic rabbit on it, which I thought was hilarious. But during the match, Yuta and Hook get into it and they get ejected. They go backstage, and Hook puts his hands on Pat Buck. He didn't even like punch him or anything. He just like grabbed him, and Buck immediately kicked him out the building for I don't know. We have guys breaking into people's houses and shit, but oh, you gotta get kicked out the building if you just grab one of the officials. Yeah. Anyways, so Cassidy beats Claudio in a really long, pretty decent match. Nothing really too bad to complain about. Very good, decent match. Moxley comes out and just beats the shit out of Orange Cassidy. Continuing that feud there. They did announce later when Moxley was doing a promo that it's gonna be him versus Cassidy again for the championship at Full Gear. I don't remember if they said there was a stipulation or not, but we'll have to see what happens. And another messy thing that's just messy. Now, I know it's not their fault because Moxley got injured, but Moxley takes the title off Cassidy. Fine, right? That was built up and led to, and they had a decent match in the main event of All Out, right? And then Moxley gets injured against Phoenix, and then Phoenix takes the title off him. But it turns out Phoenix is also injured, so Cassidy beats Phoenix, and then Moxley comes back, and then here we go. Just a lot of messiness, and again, I know it's not their fault, because injuries do happen, but I feel like there is a better way to execute this, um, back to where it needed to be, which was Orange Cassidy and John Moxley, but whatever, right? MJF is backstage looking at Kenny Omega's door, knocks on the door, Jericho answers and shuts his door on him, and Max starts walking away, and Wardlow comes in, chokes him out, says he's going to take everything away from him when he least expects it. This is what I was talking about earlier. It's just I don't understand how this guy Max. Now, in theory, right, when you're the world champion, everybody wants your championship, right? But I don't think we've ever really seen that in wrestling where we've had the world champion involved in like 8 different storylines at once. So I don't know, man. I don't like I said, I don't know where this is going. I don't know what Wardlow. We haven't even seen. Wardlow has been cutting promo packages on MJF for like the past ever since he came back, and this is the first time we've seen him interact with Max, and he just says a few things and walks away. Like, like what are we doing? What are we doing here? Where is this going? So after Wardlow leaves, the Acclaim offer Max help again, and Max just walks away. Whatever. And then, like I said earlier, Moxley then cuts a promo and basically implying that Orange Cassidy will have a match at Full Gear with Mox for the title. Now, I don't know if they're gonna put a stip on it. Does it need a stip? No, but knowing what happened in the last match at All Out, how bloody it got, I'm pretty sure this will get a stip, and it is Moxley, so who knows? Oh boy, this segment, this shit was so ass. We have the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team titles. Now, I said this on my Collision review this past Saturday. If Tony is putting the Ring of Honor titles on big stars, that doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna get a good TV deal. Because I'm assuming he's trying to put um Ring of Honor on a TV deal somewhere, get them on TV. But I don't think just putting the titles on people, on names, is gonna get you a TV deal. I think they're gonna look at it as an aspect for sure, but they're also gonna look at the product. Ring of Honor is nothing but dark matches. It's just a bunch of random guys wrestling. And sure, there's a few stories sprinkled here and there, like the Athena stuff and Maria and Cole Carter. Why is this match on Dynamite? Can't this match be on Ring of Honor TV? Why is Ring of Honor like dark? It's just AEW dark. Every week it's just match. So I don't understand. What if you are gonna have Ring of Honor champions on AEW, do a brand split. Make Ring of Honor TV good TV with storylines and matches that matter instead of just having random match after random match after random match with a few storylines sprinkled in. If you want to take a Ring of Honor seriously and get people to watch Ring of Honor and get potential TV suitors to put Ring of Honor on their show, give them a reason to put Ring of Honor on their network. Because just having dark match after dark match is not going to do it. At this point, it's just going to be Ring of Honor how it is. It's just going to be how it is. This current era of Ring of Honor is the drizzling shits. Sure, there's star power. Sure. But what does that do? I don't watch Ring of Honor, so I can't really fully complain about it this much, but is MJF cutting promos on Ring of Honor because he is one half of the Ring of Honor tag team champions? Like, what are we doing? Have a brand split, separate this guy, Tony, has 4 shows. He has Dynamite, Rampage, Collision, and Ring of Honor. Why is there not a brand split of some sort between AEW and Ring of Honor? Keep Ring of Honor stuff on Ring of Honor. It's not that hard. It's different when you bring in a New Japan guy because you don't own that company. It's different when you bring in an Impact guy because you don't own that company. Sure, Ring of Honor guys can be on AEW TV, but as far as storylines go, keep that shit on Ring of Honor. Ever since he bought Ring of Honor, people have been complaining about, oh, there's too much ROH storylines going on TV. I feel like if he would just translate all the stuff he's been doing with Ring of Honor on AEW TV and actually put that on Ring of Honor TV, Ring of Honor would be a different product. It's literally not doing them any favors whatsoever by having Ring of Honor predominantly AEW dark. If I was somebody, I was looking to giving Ring of Honor, putting it on my network, and I watch an episode of Ring of Honor, I'm like, why the fuck would I want this shit on my TV, on my network? Why? I don't know, man. This match right here is a pure example. So we have a Ring of Honor 6-man tag team titles: the Gates of Agony versus the Elite. Ring of Honor stuff mixed in with AEW stuff. For what? It's so dumb to me. And I'm not even against inter promotions, because you can do it. But when your TV has a lot of it, It's not good. So Hangman goes for a buckshot during the match, and Swerve comes out, says whose house. Then he goes, "I was at your house," and then Hangman just chases Swerve, chases him away. So the Young Bucks are just left 2-on-3, and the Gates of Agony beat Matt Jackson, and we have new Ring of Honor 6-man tag team champions. Swerve and Hangman are shown backstage fighting each other, and Matt Jackson is throwing a temper tantrum outside the ring, throwing chairs and shit like a little fucking baby. This match and segment was so bad because, for one, we already talked about the Ring of Honor stuff. We already talked about that, but also last week Swerve broke into his house and was talking down to his child and put his merch in his child's crib. And what does Hangman do? He runs. Where were they at? They were in Philly. Hangman lives in Virginia, probably. Hangman just ran out the arena. I don't know. I understand how he thought he could just get to his house like that, but whatever. And what does he do this week? He just comes back and just goes right back to work instead of staying home with his family or waiting for Swerve to come to the arena and jump him or something. Just has a match. Dude, if somebody broke into my house and tried to talk and was doing that shit Swerve was doing, you bet your ass I wouldn't be like wrestling the next week. No. I'd be wanting to be looking for this motherfucker and being the shit. This makes Heyman look like a complete fucking idiot and a pussy. And it makes the Bucks look even worse because they haven't been doing shit. They haven't felt like 2015 to 2018 Young Bucks. Like, I don't know what is going on with them. I don't get it. I don't get it, man. Keep the Ring of Honor shit on Ring of Honor and build Ring of Honor as a product. If you're gonna have AEW guys be champions, that's fine, but don't integrate championship changes, storylines, etc. on AEW TV. You have AEW wrestlers for a reason. Use them, utilize them, and put Ring of Honor guys on Ring of Honor. Do a brand split. Next, we see MJF backstage looking at Samoa Joe's locker. He's thinking about taking up what Adam says, Joe's offer, but he decides not to. Then he goes to Darby's locker room, and then he writes emo bitch on his door. And the Acclaim pop up again, asking to pick them, and Max walks away again. This is the third time. Tony Schiavone welcomes Adam Copeland to the ring, comes out. Before he gives his answer on if he'll team with Sting and Darby at Full Gear, Christian comes out. He says he will retire Sting whether he likes it or not. Snap Adam's neck. That pisses Adam off. They go down and beat up Adam with Copeland. Sting and Darby come out to make the save. Adam says, Adam spears Christian. Says he will be the third partner at the match at Full Gear. So it will be Luchasaurus versus Christian versus not Luchasaurus versus Christian. Luchasaurus, Christian, and Wayne versus Darby Allin, Sting, and Adam Cole. That's the Full Gear match. I like the stuff with Adam and Christian. It is intriguing because, to be honest, I don't think we've ever had a proper Edge versus Christian storyline in WWE. I don't think that's ever happened. So it is cool to see this, really have creative freedom how to build their story together. And Sting and Edge were never in WWE together at the same time. Christian and Sting were together in TNA back in the day. So there is a lot of history here. And of course you also throw in the factor with Darby and Nick Wayne, so that's also cool. Still no follow up on AR Fox, but hey, what do I know? Next we got Tony Khan's big announcement. And that big announcement is all in tickets for 2024 go on sale December 1st, and you can sign up for tickets right now on Ticketmaster UK. They literally could have just announced this on Twitter. I don't know why this was. I mean, at this point, it's false advertisement. You promised a big announcement, and your big announcement is that all in tickets for next year, literally, what, 10 months from now, go on sale December 1st. That's literally something he could just tweet it out. But whatever. Next, we had a tag team match between Daddy Magic, Cool Hand Ange versus Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega. Callis is on commentary. Jericho pins Cool Hand Ange. We give Jericho and Omega to win. Callis then challenges them to a street fight in Ontario, California in 2 weeks. And they play up about Omega and Jericho being outnumbered. And then Omega says we have Kota Ibushi. And then Callis says, well, you're still outnumbered. And then Jericho talks about, well, I have somebody bigger than Hobbs. Another shitty thing on the show. Out comes Paul White. Why? This is not good TV. I don't care if Paul White's a name. The dude can't walk. He's older. I was a big show guy when I was growing up. I like him. But now it's just like we've seen him wrestle. How many times have we seen him wrestle? Twice. He had that match with QT on a pay-per-view. And that was about it. This guy is barely on TV ever. He was signed to be a commentator on AEW Dark Elevation, but that show died. So he's just been doing. What exactly has he been doing for the company? Doing like local stuff. I'm assuming probably. I don't know. And what? I don't want to see this on TV. This shouldn't even be happening on TV. Chris Jericho and Paul White. Bro, think about this. Their team is Paul White, Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, and Kota Ibushi, bro. What is going on in this company right now? It's bad. Sure, the visual of Hobbs lifting up Paul White could be cool, right? And it could benefit Hobbs and make him look good. But again, like, why is it Paul White? Why? I don't understand why Jericho and Omega are teaming because, yeah, they both hate Don Callis. Sure. But is this what their best idea in utilizing a guy like Kenny Omega is to put him in a tag team with Chris Jericho? I understand Omega's beat up. He's not New Japan Kenny, but we've seen it. We've seen glimpses of New Japan Kenny recently. His match with Kyle Fletcher, his match with MJF Saturday. We've seen it. He can still do it at a high level. Why is he doing tag matches with Chris Jericho? That is the best creative you can have for a guy like Kenny Omega, is to have him in a street fight with Paul White, Chris Jericho, and Ibushi. Sure. Why bring in Ibushi if you're not gonna reunite the Golden Lovers? Instead, he's tag teaming with Chris Jericho. Unless it's just gonna lead to a Jericho turning on Omega or something like that. And then we're gonna get another Jericho and Omega match. Sure. But we've seen it already. We've seen it twice. Granted, one of it was at Wrestle Kingdom, and the other was at the original Double or Nothing. But like, Jericho's what, 4 years older since then. I don't understand it. I'm wanting to like AEW, but they're just doing a lot of bad stuff right now. and a lot of it's just messy, and a lot of it's just stupid. So we go to the locker room of the Elite and Chris Jericho, and Omega and Jericho are there. Matt Jackson says, "What's the point of the Elite getting back together if they don't have each other's backs?" Matt says Chris is going to stab Kenny in the back. And I was just talking about because I don't understand why these guys are teaming if unless it's just to have Jericho turn on Omega and at least to a Jericho and Omega 3. Who knows? And then Matt brings up a good point. What's the point of the Elite getting back together? They'll have each other's backs. Omega's off fondling with Chris Jericho and Callis, while the Bucks are having issues with Hangman. We never really see the four of them together anymore. Not in backstage segments, not in matches. You know, they got like what is he's kind of right. What is the point? The Young Bucks have meant so little right now. They haven't been doing a damn thing. I can't even imagine the last time they've done something important on TV. When was the last time the Bucks did something important on TV? They had a match with FTR. It was a good match, but the least of the three they've had. The first one they had, no, the second one, the one in Boston, Dynamite, that was the best one. And then the pandemic one, and then the one they had at All In was the least, and it was still good. But again, it was just a match thrown together by Tony with very little build. Sure, there was backstory, but there was no build. So, like, what are the Bucks doing? Now, they keep saying on Twitter that they're the heart and soul of AEW. They haven't done nothing. They haven't done anything important in a while. Hangman had that killer match with Swerve, which was good. The build to that was pretty good. Swerve coming out saying that Hangman's lost his way and all this other stuff. That's really good. But then Swerve, I mean, they make Hangman look like an idiot right now. Like I was talking about earlier. So and then Kenny with Jericho. I don't understand what they want to do with the Elite. They haven't. It's just not working. They need to be more important. For them to say that they're the heart and backbone of the company, they need to be doing more important stuff on TV instead of whatever the hell the fuck they're doing now. Another thing that I thought was stupid on this show: AEW Women's World Championship, Willow Nightingale versus Hikaru Shida. So Willow lost a four-way number one contenders match on Rampage last week. And then gets a title shot anyways on Dynamite. For what? She lost. How do you lose a number one contenders match and still get a championship match? What is so bad? What is going on in AEW right now? Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. They really need to bring back the rankings and establish wins and losses because you can get away with doing just random matches because the matches were important enough to where you need to win and losses matter and or are important in your ranking within the company. You can get away with just doing random matches on TV because it matters if they win or not. But ever since they've gone away from that and they just do all these stupid championship eliminators and just giving championship matches to whoever. I read somewhere on the other day that Jeff Jarrett's had like 13 title matches since he's been in AEW. I'm just like, what? Excuse me? They need to go back to the ranking system and establish that wins and losses matter. And if you can't book wins and losses mattering and building up people based off their win and loss record, either A, don't do it, or B, trim your roster or do a brand split. Sheeta wins the match. Tony Storm comes out, does her thing, and then Sheeta runs up the ramp, hits her with a flying knee on the stage. Then the lights go out, and Julia Hart's in the ring. Sky Blue comes out. She looks like she's gonna miss Willow, but she turns around and missed Julia with blue mist, and that was that. Now I did like that. It is intriguing what they're doing with Sky recently. I'm pretty sure everyone just assumed that she was just gonna miss Willow and join Julia, but she swerved me. I thought she was gonna do that, but instead she sprayed Julia. So I'm interested to see where that's going. If Sky and Julia are gonna feud now, or I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, and I'm interested to see what happens. Then we go backstage. MJF is sitting on the ground with his clipboard. The Acclaim approached him again, and they said, "Pick us. Make sure you wear this." And they give him a bag, and we'll talk about what's in the bag in just a second. They walk away, and then Jeff Jarrett, Sanjay Dutt, Jay Lethal, Satnam Singh, and Karen Jarrett are there and said, "We'll be your partners, Max." And then goes to commercial. So again, unless I missed something, so that sequence right there insinuates to me Jeff Jarrett and his group are going to be Max's partners, right? That's the last thing that I saw. Okay, keep that in mind. Renee's backstage with Roderick Strong and the Kingdom. And called Adam Cole on the phone, and then Adam tells him to shut the hell up and hangs up. So, yeah. So back to what I was just talking about, how it made it seem like Jeff Jarrett, his group were going to be Max's partners. Well, that was definitely not the case. We had a Bullet Club Gold come out, and we had the Acclaim come out, and I'm just like, okay, well, I guess Jeff Jarrett and his group are not his partners. The Acclaim just came out, so I don't know. And then Max comes out and he's wearing pink scissor me gear to match with the Acclaimed. And they had a really good, fun 8-man tag match. Probably one of the better main events in Dynamite recently for me, at least. And the most shocking thing is that Jay White pinned MJF. Now, if we're just going by wrestling logic 101, that means MJF is definitely not losing that title against Jay White at Full Gear. Now, they could swerve us and Jay White could pin him again because I know a lot of people are talking about how MJF is not advertised for the All In show next year, so a lot of people think MJF is just gonna walk. I don't think that's the case. I just think that if you're not certain if a guy's gonna sign or not, why advertise him? That's false advertising. So I get why they didn't advertise him. I don't think I think people are just digging too deep into that. But yeah, it is interesting that I think Jay White is the first guy to pin MJF ever since he became champion. So it is interesting that of all people they picked Jay White too, and I love Jay White. I do, I really do. Big fan, big fan of Jay White. I have one of his Bullet Club shirts, but it is interesting that they of all people they picked Jay White to pin MJF. But I don't hate it. I actually kind of like it. It builds more intrigue into the match, and Jay keeps the belt. It's not actually his. MJF does not get his belt back because that was the whole point of the match. If Bullet Club Gold lost, that they would give Max his belt back. But Hey, we'll see what happens. Hey, I wish I would be more invested into this. The finish actually did get me more invested into the match, but before, because MJF's so involved with so many other things, I kind of just felt like Jay White was just playing second fiddle to some of these storylines that MJF has going on. But him pinning MJF is so good. I like that move. Maybe some people could believe it because Full Gear, well, besides the World's End pay per view, Full Gear is the second to last pay per view of the year. So if you were to take the title off MJF, it would has to be one of these two shows. We don't know what the match is going to be at World's End, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see. After the match, Jay White goes to hit him with the belt, but Max pushes MJF out the way and takes the bullet for MJF. And Max sold that belt shot like money. Great job by him. And MJF refuses to scissor Max Caster. And Billy Gunn gets in his face and convinces him to scissor Max Caster. And they all four-way scissored to end the show. And that was it. Just a lot of bad stuff. A lot of bad more than good on this show. I really hope after Full Gear they can just clear things up and hit the restart button on some things. Just fix a lot of the shit that's just going on. I love AEW. I want them to do better. I want them to succeed. Right now, it's just not their best time. Sucks to say. But yeah, there were some good things on the show though. Not gonna lie, I felt like the bad outweighed the good. Just a weird episode. Just a weird episode. But that was the review. Let me know if you guys liked the review in the comment section down below. Like, subscribe, notification bell, all that good stuff. Follow all my socials and look at the upload schedule. Hopefully my internet doesn't go out. That's why I've uploaded like 4 videos a day. Wasn't able to do reviews for night 8 and night 9 of the Super Tag League tournament. That's why I haven't been able to Dynamite. That's why Dynamite's coming today. So I get off of this, I'm gonna do the Impact review from last night in Scotland. So you guys stay tuned for that, and see you guys in the next one. Peace.